The Dane and Derek Show is an uncensored, unfiltered podcast. Content warnings can be found in the episode description. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dane and Derek. I'm your host, Benig-Aiello. You probably know that by now. And you probably also know that I make movies and play a lot of tabletop games. Joining me as always is my good friend and co-host, Dane.
Hey, I'm Dane. I am a writer, soon to be law student. And I also love music and podcasts and video games and tabletop RPGs. But we're talking about video games today. I like a lot of things. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's just how it is, right? The modern polymath.
Yes, the modern Renaissance man.
Yeah. You like video games and law school.
Yes. Yeah.
You better get on that Ace Attorney train.
Oh God. Oh my God. Maybe I should. Anyways, video games. Last week we did movies. This week I don't have a confession. I fucking still love video games and I play them all the time.
Okay, well then I have a confession to make.
You have a confession to make.
Yeah, the only game I've been able to play is Breath of the Wild for the last 3 months. I haven't been able to play like anything. But
hey, I actually get that. I've bounced off a lot of video games lately.
Yeah, there's something about it. Like I'm not getting the right. I think it's because I've played a lot of similar games over the years and I need something to refresh that. And to that point, I picked up Tyranny, which I'm really excited for because it's like an Infinity Engine game, but with an interesting narrative and mechanic twist. And then I also picked up Dark Souls.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, which we might need to do an episode after I play it. But I picked up Dark Souls, the I think remastered, the whatever the new one is. I picked it up because I was like, I really liked Jedi Fallen Order and I really like Breath of the Wild, and those have like Soulsy mechanics in them.
They do.
And, I'm probably going to get my ass handed to me playing Dark Souls. I'll probably have a lot of nightmares, but, I've heard a lot of really good things. And, not only you, but a lot of friends I know have recommended it to me. And because I don't have a PlayStation and I can't play Shadow of the Colossus, I figure Dark Souls will have to do.
Yes, it will. It will. Yeah, I don't feel bad if you do bounce off it though. Like, it is. The Souls games have this like culture around them of like get good. Like it's not you, it's not the game, it's you. It's also the game. Like like some people, it's not for them. So don't feel bad if you don't. It doesn't work for you. But yeah, no, I also bounced off of a lot of games this year. Like literally just over break, I downloaded Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah, that was like really hyped, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked really good, and in playing it, I'm like, this is very good, and I can't play this. Like, I like something and this will be very funny with one of the games on my list, and I will have a rant about it, about why when I get there. But first person shooters are just doing it less and less and less for me. It just don't work for my brain these days. Not really like the visual mechanics, but just the like literally just the shooting waves of people is just like starting to wear at me in a weird way. But
I gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, I've bounced off some games. I'm gonna give Solar Ash a good try next.
Nice.
Yeah. But top 5 games that we're anticipating this year. Should I get us going?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5 for me, Stray. Have you heard about this one?
No.
So it's kind of a cyberpunk game, but you are a cat going about a world where the humans are gone and replaced by robots.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm very curious about it. I am just every trailer I watch, I'm like, fascinating. I don't know what this is going to be like or if it's going to be any good, but I'm just curious. I just want to know.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that one.
First up for me is Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think that's how you say it.
Yep,
Uh,
I believe so.
yeah, I didn't grow up with Pokemon games, um, so I'm always looking to try and give them a chance. And
Hmm.
this one looked cool. It looked very fantasy esque, and it looked very different. It looked more environmental oriented, and yeah, I've never really gotten into Pokemon. I played Diamond like once.
Hmm.
Uh, didn't finish it. Yeah, but I really want to give it a try. So yeah.
Yeah, I adore the Pokemon games. They are like super special to me, but I will admit, they just haven't changed. Like they literally just haven't changed.
Yeah.
So you know, like I didn't play the most recent pair was Sword and Shield. I didn't play those. Um, and I was just like, and you know what? Honestly, I was just like, that's fine. Like I don't need to play them because um I already have. And at this point, since I'm just gonna be playing the same game over and over again, I'd rather play the remakes or my actual old games for the nostalgia. Like it's already a
Mm,
nostalgia trip, so I'd rather just do it again, you know?
yeah.
So like I'm probably gonna pick up Pokemon Pearl this coming year,
Ooh,
which didn't
nice.
make it on my list because I'm like I played that back when I was 9, so I don't
Oh,
know.
they
I
came
don't
out
know
that
if
long
that
ago?
counts, huh?
They came out that long ago?
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl are pretty old now.
Oh man, I played Diamond when I was like in high school. Like
Yeah,
when
because there
I
was
was like
this like
17.
yeah, there was a really long time where the Nintendo DS had like multiple generations of Pokemon.
Yeah.
There was a little while there where like each system had a new Pokemon game, basically. Um,
Mm,
so but the DS hung around for long enough that um anyways. So
wild.
yeah, I think Arceus looks different. So I hope you enjoy it. I really do.
Thanks.
Um, my number 4 is Oxenfree 2. Um, Oxenfree 1 was like an indie game that was kind of like I would kind of describe it as like a little spookier than Stand By Me or The Goonies, but that kind of vibe of like it's about a bunch of high schoolers who there's a tradition in their high school every year where they go to an island and just kind of do sort of debaucherous stuff. And this year, like, not many people show up, and it's kind of weird. And then there's like a spooky, like, in the radio waves ghost going on, um,
Mm.
which is super neat. The really fun thing about the game itself, though, is the majority of the game is about conversations. Um, so when you're talking with people, um it you can't you know how like when you're playing like a BioWare game, you can sit there for 30 minutes in the middle of a conversation on like the your choices
Right.
bar, you know?
Yeah.
In this, what will happen is while the conversation is happening, the answers will like your responses will start popping up in choices. And if you miss the opportunity to say something, you've missed your opportunity. Um
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds
but then
stressful.
a little, but like that's the like the main mechanical meat of the game. So it's not like you're missing anything because you're like running around.
Right.
Um, so like they'll like basically you have to like decide like I could say nothing here, and that's also a valid option is to be silent. Um, so
Oh,
I'm really excited to see what they do with it because it seems like they're doing like a big time skip from the first one. So
yeah.
I'm very curious.
Huh. A game about pretty much dialogue.
Yeah,
Surprise, surprise.
surprise.
But that's fun. Um, I guess I'm going to rearrange the order that I read to you previously, but uh, my next one is Ollie Ollie World,
Nice.
which is like a skating platformer kind of game. I've been really enjoying ever since Hades. I've been really enjoying games where I can like do a handful of runs and then put down. Um, and I
Yeah.
think that that's like a really interesting mechanic. That it's like I don't feel so motivated to like finish the story. I just feel really motivated to play the game. I guess also Breath of the Wild did that for me. But yeah, Ollie Ollie World. I want a good skater game.
Yeah,
you know, um,
absolutely.
and I've also just been trying to get more games on my Switch. I love my Switch so much so that I pre-ordered a Steam Deck because I wanted a PC experience like my Switch. Um, but it got delayed, and I now I'm considering canceling. Um, but uh, yeah, I like that experience so much.
Nice.
Yeah, the Switch is so good.
I've met
Um,
nobody who has regretted a Switch purchase.
yeah,
Literally nobody.
it's like it's just my favorite way to game these days, and maybe that's a big part of why I haven't played so many PC games that I own. I
Mm.
just like my Switch. You could say I've switched to that Nintendo lifestyle away from being a PC gamer.
Hey, fair enough.
Um, yeah. What's your number? Three.
Three. Forspoken. So this is a new IP from Square Enix.
Ooh.
So it's a fantasy action game. It looks super interesting. The story looks fun. Square Enix uh, doesn't often come out with new IPs, so I'm hoping that it's a good one. I like the vibe that comes out of Square Enix a lot of the time. Just because it's like it's oddly classic fantasy usually with a twist, not even a twist, but just like like Final Fantasy, I think 15. It's you're driving a car and then you draw out a great sword and fight a dragon. It's weird. It's just weird. And I'm just kind of
Yeah.
about it. Forspoken looks very, very different and very story driven. So I'm hoping I don't bounce off that one. Really
Nice.
pulling for that.
Very nice. Very nice. My number three is another skating esque game. It is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Mostly because with a title like that, how could you go wrong?
I'm not sure. I've literally never heard of that one.
Oh, it's like the best way to describe it is like it's like a 2000s cyber, like the fact that the cyber is in the name,
Yeah.
always brings me back to like 2000s animated kind of shows. Everyone's wearing baggy pants and skateboarding and trying to get places faster by going faster on a skateboard.
Yep.
Um, and the art style is just really like colorful and pop, and like I'm not a big fan of like cyberpunk dystopia like games.
Hmm.
I think they lean a little bit more into the aspect of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have swords everywhere coming out of my body whenever I feel like it versus the like, I don't know, implications of things um
Yeah.
of like just like all that stuff. And Bomb Rush Cyberpunk I think takes a little bit of a lighter approach to it, which I think I can appreciate. It doesn't
Definitely.
like it's more like you have one objective and it's skate from here to there super fast and awesome, and it's like open worldy. And yeah, um also a Switch game, but yeah.
All right. My number two, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh, that, yeah. Oh man,
So
are you and Cordell gonna do
yeah,
another
okay.
run?
So here's yeah, we are. So
Oh,
here's the thing. I don't really like this episode and last episode. There's been a slight through line with me of guns bug me more and more the longer I'm alive. And that includes my games. Like I really struggle to play games where I'm shooting people. Um, there is literally one exception to this, which is Borderlands. The Borderlands series is has a weird soft spot for me because the really weird thing is like objectively when I look at Borderlands, I'm like, if I just came across this now today as just the person, I would be like, that is the most juvenile, sophomore, dumbass looking thing I've ever seen. Bye. But like for me, it's really special because there's a couple layers to it, which is I've played the first Borderlands when I was going through chemotherapy. It was a power fantasy when I desperately needed it.
hmm.
It was like a period of time when I felt okay. Playing those games made me feel okay. So that was really touching. And then um, our friend Will Cordell and I started doing this thing where on breaks we would binge games, um, which was partially during our junior year. We were like, okay, we're gonna make a pact. We're gonna play no video games during this like the school year, but during break, you and me, we're gonna get together. We're gonna binge through Borderlands 2 was like
Wow.
the thing because junior year can be tough, and we were just like,
Yeah.
we just want to stay focused, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and we did that for Borderlands 2, and then we did it for Borderlands the pre-sequel, then we did went back into Borderlands 1. Um, and we also snuck Diablo in there, I believe. Um,
Ooh, nice.
and we've done God of War as well. I'm trying to think. I think that's all of it. So we did that, and then I don't know how many people follow the Borderlands series, but after Borderlands the pre-sequel, they just kind of stopped making them for a while. They did like Telltale games set in the universe, um, but that
Right.
was it for like years, like all through college. No new Borderlands. And then we're about it's like a year, it's like 2 years out of college basically. And Borderlands 3 gets announced in like March and then comes out in October. Like I don't know if you remember that, but Borderlands 3 just sort of like appeared.
Yeah. I just
Um
remember they had the whole a gun with legs, and I was
yep.
like, why? And then I was like, oh, Pro ZD's in this game.
Yeah. So by this point, my friend Will and I'm living in Colorado, he's living in Wisconsin. I pack up my PlayStation 4, we buy the game, I fly with my PlayStation um out to Wisconsin for like a really long weekend, and we played Borderlands 3 together. So,
Wow.
and right now, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is coming out in a few months, and he's in Colorado for like for for essentially he's doing some like he's getting a doctorate. He's a smart, cool dude. He's doing stuff out here now. Um, but he'll be going away not long after the game comes out. So we're gonna play Tiny Tina's as well. So these games are super fucking special to me.
Yeah.
Even though they're the silliest, dumbest thing. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
something we've been doing, he and I, for going on a decade now. And honestly, for as long as they keep making these games, I'm gonna keep doing this with him. And we'll probably have to find some other game eventually. Maybe when Diablo 4 comes out, we'll suck it up and do that too. But yeah,
yeah.
the it's really special, and you'll actually, I don't know how much you know about the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
I've played Tiny Tina's. I played the DLC for Borderlands 2.
Yeah, there's the DLC where Tiny Tina is basically they're taking the it's very meta. They're basically playing the version of D&D Bunkers and Badasses um in world. And so this time my understanding is that they were making a DLC for Borderlands 3 that was like that. And then more or less were like, fuck it, let's just go all in and make a whole game.
Yeah.
Um and so I'm stoked, and it's a really it's oddly out of character I think for me at this point, but these games are special. So,
Yeah, no. I think like uh, like I think too, Borderlands is a kind of series too that makes fun of itself. It doesn't take itself so seriously.
yeah,
And I
almost
think
to a fault.
yeah, almost to a fault, yeah. Yeah, and I think that I think helps remind people that it's not like I don't know. It's not like a I don't know. It's not like a Call of Duty or something,
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's a little different. But nice. Very nice.
That was a very long number 2. Your number 2?
My number 2 is Sifu.
Dope.
Uh
I am also very excited. We went over our list too to make sure that we didn't have a ton of overlap.
Sifu was one of those overlaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited because this developer did Absolver, which was like a really great martial arts fighting game that was like an MMO that Sometimes I log on and play, but no one really plays too much these days, unfortunately.
Hmm.
It was a really cool game. I took a lot of those same fighting mechanics and ported them over to Sifu, and you know, I'm looking forward to it because it's a roguelike with an interesting like leveling mechanic,
Yeah.
um, and an interesting kind of like goal. But it's a martial arts game with like that kind of like fighting game reactiveness you need.
Yep.
And there is something really satisfying about getting that combo wombo.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for when that comes out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. I love the idea of the mechanic of as you get older in game, um you get stronger combos wise, but your health diminishes. I think that's rad. Um,
Yeah.
so cool.
It's a
I'm
nice push and pull.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. All right, my number one, surprising nobody, Elden Ring.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
Yeah, it every they did the open beta test. Everybody seems to love it. It it seems to be Dark Souls meets Breath of the Wild. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, it's open world Dark Souls.
It is
Um,
on my wish list, even though I've never touched a Souls game.
I am stoked to play this game. I am ready. I think I will be taking a day off from work when it releases.
Nice.
I'm here for it.
Very
I
nice.
super excited. I have not been this excited about a game in a long, long time.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
That's very
Doesn't
fun.
have as much of a story as the last one, but
Eh.
yeah.
You know, the older I get, the more I realize, like story in games is such a malleable thing right now. Like,
Oh, I meant like just like a personal story, but you're also right. It is a
oh,
very malleable
yes.
thing.
It is like a very
Um,
malleable thing. And like sometimes, yeah, you want like the story. Sometimes you don't need it though. And
yeah,
sometimes it's more like the story is what you come up like it's like the line that video games rides with D&D and tabletop games in general is
mhm,
like sometimes they get really close to one another and sometimes they don't. And
yeah.
it's really interesting to see when they do and why they get that close and when they separate and why they separate.
Yes, video games can often be very, very expressive, but by the pure limitations of the medium, it cannot be as expressive as you know storytelling games, tabletop RPGs,
Yeah.
writing as like a creative means of expression. Um, but it is a very expressive uh, medium, and
Yeah.
that's super interesting. And that's part of the reason I'm very excited about Elden Ring
Mhm.
is I'm excited to play around with builds. I'm excited to see what I can find. I am also very excited to have a game that asks a lot of me, but not in the way where I have to be fully devoted to the game. Like a certain type of game I really like is a game that is very intense, but not at all like I don't have to read any like dialogue or anything,
Yeah.
and then I can pop in like a podcast and I'm just in a zone. It's part of the reason I've played Demon Souls on my PS5 like 6 times now. Like, and part of the reason I'm excited for Elden Ring is I'm like Demon Souls is actually really short. Really interesting thing about that game is how like old NES and SNES games were like actually really short, but they were so hard that they felt really long.
Yeah.
Demon Souls is like that. Um like I think I have like a 10 or 11 hour playthrough of it. Um
Huh.
and I'm not really that good. I'm really not. It's just once you've learned it. And it's genuinely
Mm.
not that big a game. Um
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. But you're number one.
Yeah, speaking of big games, Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeppers. Yeppers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it'll come out this year, but I'm excited for it regardless.
They said 2022,
They did.
late 2022, which very
Yes.
quickly becomes 2023. Um,
Yep. They
but
they do, but it's one of those games where like I'm like, yeah, if they don't if it doesn't come out this year, yeah, that's fine.
yeah, I'd rather
uh
them take the time.
yeah, because like I'm still getting great mileage out of playing Breath of the Wild. I'm
Hmm.
on my second playthrough, and it's already very different than my first playthrough.
Huh.
Um, partially knowing the game, but also partially just random things that happen, and I'm really looking forward to that in Breath of the Wild too, especially like some of the more flying mechanics.
Yeah.
I like someone told me I should play Skyward Sword because that's the flying Zelda game, but I am hesitant because I'm worried that if I play like an older Zelda game, I won't be as into it, considering that like I borrowed a friend's copy of Twilight Princess for 6 years and I
Hmm.
touched it once and I'd stop and I didn't continue playing it because I was kind of frustrated by it. And I don't want that to happen with another Zelda game.
Okay, here's my take on that.
Yeah.
I would not touch Skyward Sword with a 10-foot pole of all the Zelda
Okay.
games. Do not, no, not that one.
Okay.
Um, the 2D ones are often very, very good.
Okay.
Um, so like if you get the chance, I would say try and play like genuinely try and play the original. Um, just for like the fun of it. It has like a slight arcade feel to it and it's awesome. Um,
Mm.
and then there's like Link's Awakening recently came out for the Switch.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
which is very good. They're just very different games than Breath of the Wild. Um,
That's the thing. They
the
they
interesting,
all yeah.
yeah, the interesting thing is the very original Zelda actually and Breath of the Wild feel the most like each other in an interesting way. Um,
Yeah.
which is both of them are very much like and go. Like there's not like you're not trapped in endless like and now you must go do blah 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 and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. You're just like nope, it's adventure time. Let's do this. And then like the 2D ones are kind of close to like puzzle games almost. Um
Uh,
like Link's Awakening in particular is like very much about figuring out how to just get through the world. Like it's just a puzzle on like how do I unlock this and this and this to get through here so I can get that dungeon and now I'll go to this dungeon and oh I have to go get this item from over here. Like it's very much like a puzzle, not really like an adventure. So it's a completely different game. Feels really good though. Have you played Okami?
I have played the first maybe hour, and then I subsequently was like, "This feels like it would be better played on a Switch, not on a PC." Uh,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I got it for Switch, but I have yet to try it again.
Okami, if you like Okami, you may end up liking some of the other Legend of Zelda games.
Okay.
Um, like Twilight Princess or like Wind Waker maybe.
Mm,
Um, they're very similar in the sense of like I would just call them like pure adventure games of an from the like PS2 uh through like PS3 era that they often don't make anymore. Um,
gotcha.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2 as well. Um,
Yeah.
I,
Like in a way, it's like the game doesn't need a sequel, but I want a sequel.
yeah, absolutely.
It's like how everybody wants every single like Elder Scrolls game to be remade in the Skyrim engine. you know,
Yeah, I just want Elder Scrolls 6. Could just somebody it's
yeah.
it's been so long. Please, just a new one. Please.
I did get the special edition recently.
Yeah, how's that?
I haven't tried it yet because, well, I bought
You've
it and then
already
I was
played
like,
Skyrim, like
yeah, well, that's the thing. I was looking at it and I was like, why did I buy this? I never finish these games. I never feel motivated to save the world of Skyrim. I'm always like, just by the time I get to that point where the game gets too difficult because they keep sending you monsters to like stop you from doing your side quests. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Here's something. Here's something I will say. Um, I think Breath of the Wild is like very close to the pinnacle for me of like a game about you having a fucking kick-ass destiny.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that's awesome. I love that. It's very
yeah.
cool. It's all very it's very well put together. Um, I think the Soulsborne games for me have, at least for me, have kind of cracked the you're a mythic hero situation. Not very
Uh
distinctly,
huh.
not like the like hero's journey. Like I think Breath of the Wild makes me feel more like a Luke Skywalker or like an Aragorn sort of character than
Mm.
most games. Um Dark Souls makes me feel like Beowulf.
Uh.
Where it's like this is a shit world and like things suck and I kind of suck and it's gritty and like that sort of thing. You know what I don't think has been cracked? Um, and Skyrim is extremely close. It's very, very close. I don't think they've actually cracked the D&D fantasy quite yet.
Nope.
And here's my thing. A lot of people might come at me and be like, Dragon Age or Skyrim. And I'll be like, yeah, except here's the funny thing. In all those games, you're special.
Yeah.
The closest I've ever seen is actually Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
champion of Kirkwall, Hawk, is just a person. They're just a person
Yeah.
who's in like a very thrust into situations, but like you're not the Inquisitor, you know, like in Dragon Age Inquisition. You're not the Dragonborn like in Skyrim, you know.
Yeah.
The thing I would want so badly, and I know they're not going to do it, but the thing I want so badly for the next Elder Scrolls in particular is like I want to be a nobody, you know?
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
want to be a nobody and I want to get locked out of stuff. Like if I join the Thieves Guild and I'm like the master of the Thieves Guild, I do not also want to be master of the Mages College. I do not want that to be an option for me.
yeah.
Um and I don't want some like big destiny. I would much rather like I'm fine if there's like some like really earth-shattering like problem you could stumble across, but I'd really like to stumble across it, not be like handed a special power, you know? No shouts
Mm.
for me, thanks. I just want, the skill tree.
Yeah.
It's just me.
I mean, there's a reason why there's so many mods that remove the storyline from the game.
Oh yeah, the storyline's just like the weakest part of it, no
Yeah.
doubt.
There's
Um,
there's a reason why people do that, because they don't want to, like, they want exactly what you just described. Like, even the Elder Scrolls MMO makes you special. A
yeah,
lot of these games, yeah. Like,
I tried it and I was just like, no.
you know,
I just don't like MMOs though, so
yeah.
I was just hankering for something that I was just not gonna get.
Yeah. I mean, hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll.
I'm kind of getting to this point where I'm like, I would either hand me a tabula rasa, like give me a nothing character with no pre-written anything, a la Dark Souls, or give me an actual character. You can let me, I'm cool if you let me like play around in it, but like I'm much more interested in certain amount of like curated story, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like The Witcher is actually kind of like really kind of perfect for me in that sense because like somebody's Geralt is just like a horrible womanizer. But every time I play, I am like I'm gonna go make things work with Yennefer and I'm gonna be the best dad because I want my family unit to be a thing because that's what feels like the best version of the story for me. Um,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I like games where your choices are limited by the kind of character you're playing, or games where the only choice is how you play. Like
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild or
like
Jedi Fallen
with
Order.
yeah, with like Link I find very interesting in Breath of the Wild, right? Because if you play Link where you never get the memories back, but you still go all the way and save Zelda, that's like a really different person, right? Like that's like
Oh my god.
right? Like Zelda would be, she
Whoa.
comes back and is like, and you're like, I don't know who you are, right? Like, I'm happy I saved you, but but the person who's like, there's a part of me that wants to play Breath of the Wild again, wherein I play Link, where the thing I do very, very first is get all the memories and then get the Master Sword. Um, like those things come first
Yeah.
as opposed to like fucking around, because I think that's like a different way of like playing the character, and that I'm interested in. I'm interested in that sort of thing, and I'm less interested in. I'm not so interested in like the Inquisitor, where enough is locked in,
Yeah.
but but too much is locked in, and also not enough is locked in. You know,
Yeah.
like I honestly, Hawk is damn near perfect for me in that,
Yeah.
where it's
Once
like,
again, yeah. Once again, we come back to our controversial gamer opinion.
yeah,
Dragon
yeah,
Age 2 is the fucking best
it's
Dragon
the
Age
best
game.
Dragon Age. It
Like,
is
and the thing
absolutely
is,
the best Dragon Age.
yeah, and I say that as a staunch Origins fan. I
Yeah,
still think Dragon Age 2 is the best. And it's because like a lot of these games expect you to insert yourself. But like for a lot of people, that's not what's interesting about playing games, I feel.
or even if you are inserting a lot of yourself into the character, it's really hard to work. Like it's actually really hard to work from what little they give you in Skyrim,
Yeah.
right? Like because you can't be like, because it doesn't work, because it's not like in D&D you can start that blank a slate and you'll have someone amazing by the end of the campaign because you're like, oh, I can say anything, right?
Yeah, right,
I
yeah.
can do anything. Like there's enough give and
Mhm.
take because it's with other people, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you need a little bit more, right? Like you need a little bit more, whereas like, and so like the Inquisitor doesn't have enough
Mhm.
because there's nothing personal going on with the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Whereas with like Hawk, it's like spoilers, I guess, but like in some ways the story is Hawk's very long bad 10 years wherein
Yeah.
he loses his whole family, assuming it's a play to he. They lose their whole family, and potentially, depending on which love interest you pick, get kind of fucked around by their love interest too. Looking at you, Isabella. Looking at you hard.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, yeah. You know what's so interesting about that game? Every time I try and play it, I can never, ever romance Isabella. I play my hawk a little not that much of an edge lord.
I can't like I try,
Yeah,
and I'm
at a
just, but
certain
every time I
point,
get sucked back to her, like I'm just like, you're just the most interesting, because also I'm just fucking fascinated by the idea of like you getting betrayed by your love interest in a video game that never fucking happens. I was like, this is amazing.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
amazing. And if you say the wrong thing, she's genuinely gone for good. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like you can fuck this up real hard. That's so cool. Like, yeah, this turned into us loving Dragon Age 2.
yeah. We these first few episodes have turned into a lot of, oh, we should do these episodes.
Mhm.
And it's very clear we need to do a Breath of the Wild episode and a Dragon Age 2 episode. Better yet, we could probably do, fuck it. We should just play Dragon Age 2 and then do like a bunch of episodes about it.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. We should talk.
Let's
We'll talk about this. We'll
yeah.
talk. We'll find what we're gonna talk video games. We're gonna figure this out. We're 10 minutes over though.
Yeah, yeah, we are. Yes, we're very much over. Thank you all for listening to our top 5 most anticipated video games of the year, and to our subplot of how Dragon Age 2 kicks ass. And with that, you can follow the show at Dane and Derek everywhere, and you can see the movies I'm making on my website, Benig-Aiello.com.
You can find my writing at danewrites.com. There's a link out to my Substack, which is where I post poetry, creative nonfiction, and actually some fiction right now. I should be posting some sci-fi fiction soon, actually.
Ooh, very
Yeah,
fun.
and also links at danewrites.com are to my podcast, Diceology, and my music and my Twitter, if I don't know why I keep selling my Twitter. I should take that off. Anyways,
Yeah.
um, we're back, everybody.
We're
We're back
back.
in our bantery. We're talking about a little bit of everything and a little bit of nothing.
Yeah, we're back on our bullshit, and we're all glad you're here.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening.
Catch you later.